Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Other People's Secrets, with author and host Todd McNutt, and co-host Cadence Hooper, and special guest Caitlin, the White Hat Hacker.
Off, and there we go. Now the mic's unmuted. Okay, hello and welcome to this episode of Other People's Secrets. This is our official launch date, 4/4, and we're going to be missing our special guest today because this happens to be the White Hat Hacker's birthday. And we want to send out a very special happy birthday to Caitlin, our White Hat Hacker. I'll be joined here in a few minutes by my co-host, Cadence. But in the meantime, let me just, I'm going to give you an overview of the show. When Cadence gets here, we're going to talk a little bit about the book, the Real ID book. Then we're going to take a little break and we'll come back and talk about TikTok and social media. After that, we're going to talk about my website, my new website, representing me. And then we're going to come back and we'll bump her out with talking a little bit about the hackers and all that kind of stuff. So it should be a fun hour, a knowledgeable hour, maybe is a better word for it. And anyway, I am going to send you to commercial right here so I can find out where my co-host is.
Away is the smell of fresh pine. It's a place where giants still live. Away is where the farther down the road you go, the closer you get to the ones you love. Find your Away. For a dealer and the RV that's right for you, visit GoRVing.com.
No matter what size your label says, Men's Warehouse has you covered. With American designers and expert stylists, we'll help you find the perfect look. For the receptions, the board meetings, the trips with the boys. And let's not forget the anniversaries. It's time to take your style to the next level and create the perfect fit. It's time to like the way you look.
Introducing our tough one, the 1970 Chevelle SS396. It's a great performer, except for one thing. No one gives it a chance to perform. Not that we can blame them. After all, there's a lot to admire about the new Chevelle SS396.
Your car? Hey, what's that?
A no-nonsense cowl induction hood you can order that actually feeds in extra air when you accelerate. Functional hood pins.
Bobby pins.
No, these aren't Bobby pin hood pins, baby, and they're for real hood pins. Yeah. Hey, 2 pipes. Gun it for me, will you, buddy? Oh, now, come on. What kind of belted fiberglass tires, aren't they? Yeah.
Consider this fair warning. When you order your Chevelle SS396 at your Chevy dealer's sports department, expect to draw a crowd, no matter where you take it.
How would you like to be able to travel anywhere, anytime you want, with all the luxury and comfort of home? You can do this in an RV from Apache Village. We want you to experience waking up to any destination of your choice, from the Grand Tetons to Pebble Beach. We have a large inventory of new and used coaches from top manufacturers like Fleetwood and Jayco. We are here to help you find the perfect motorhome for your family. Come in and see why we say, go one better, go Apache Village.
And we're back, and I would like to welcome to the show my co-host, Cadence.
Hi.
Here she is. Hi, Cadence.
Hi, how are
you
y'all?
this afternoon?
I'm great.
Oh, everything that can go wrong has been going wrong here. I opened the show with my mic off, had to redo that. Caitlin, is her birthday, so she's not going to be here today, but we're waving and saying happy birthday to her every chance we get.
Happy birthday.
So, yeah, and the air conditioner here I'm not in my black shirt. I'm in a black T-shirt with my suspenders because the air conditioning here, it's like 84 here in the studio. So
Oh, wow.
I'm not
Wow.
putting on a long sleeve black shirt and a necktie. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. Just
Hey, I came
yes, I am.
too. I came comfy too.
You look beautiful though.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for being here. And okay, I kind of did a rundown on the show, an overview of the show for everybody. And right now, questions from you.
Okay. Well, what is the dark net? Like, what is that? I've got no idea, and I've been interested in that.
Oh gosh, that's a question for Caitlin. She's not here. I can
Okay.
answer it a little bit because I've talked to her about it.
Okay.
The dark net, as she told me, what we see on the internet when we get on the internet is it's basically what we're seeing is the outer layer of it. But if you peel that outer layer back, then there's another level that's the dark web, and then you peel that back, and there's another level that's government web. You pull that back, and there's another layer that's like government, highly classified military stuff that we probably don't even ever want to go to.
Oh, wow. Wow. I didn't even realize like there was so much more to it.
Yeah, and she was telling me last time we talked that your typical web browsers won't go down any of those layers. You have to have special software to get down to those layers. If
Wow.
you go down in the dark web and you put in civic.com, my publishing website, it'll come
Yeah.
back with an error because civic.com doesn't exist on that level.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
It is.
That's
Kind
interesting.
of
Yeah.
very interesting, but
Yeah. Yeah. That is. I've always been, you hear people talk about it, and you're like, I don't even know what that is. You know.
yeah.
So it's
My favorite one though is the Experian commercial where they tell you that if you join their little club, that they're going to tell you if your information is being sold on the dark web. Well, Kately also told me this: they would never know unless they were either selling your information or buying your information on the dark web. Because the way the dark web is designed, there's no way to know what's in a file when it's sent from point A to point B. So it's kind of an interesting thing when they say they're going to tell you these things, and of course we know they can't.
yeah. Wow. So how have you been doing? Like what about your book? You tell us about your book and the interviews you've been doing?
Oh gosh, I've been busy doing interviews. In fact, they wanted me to do an interview today during our show here. And I
Yeah.
said, can't do it. Can't be two places at once. And even though I can in the cyber world and on with our interviews and podcasts and everything, answering questions for that show and this one at the same time would have been like, good luck.
Oh.
So they rescheduled that one, but I've got another show at 10 o'clock tonight, and I did one at 2:30 this afternoon. We're talking about other people's secrets, which we're talking a lot about the book, but we're also talking about my other book, and I'm going to show it up here and do a what do you went the wrong way with it? Sorry. Splurgy kind of promotion here. I'm promoting my book without any shame. Anyway, that's the Real ID Act, and that book is just about the Real ID Act. And it was such a bad law they couldn't even get it out of committee. They couldn't vote it out of committee and get it out on the floor to discuss it. And they made a rider out of it and put it on the back of a Department of Defense bill to pay the military, and that's how they got it voted on. So, but,
Wow. Wow. I didn't know that.
yeah.
I didn't know that. I haven't read into that one. We'll be back after this.
Introducing our tough one, the 1970 Chevelle SS396. It's a great performer, except for one thing. No one gives it a chance to perform. Not that we can blame them. After all, there's a lot to admire about the new Chevelle SS396.
Your car? Hey, what's that? No, tell me.
A no-nonsense cowl induction hood you can order that actually feeds in extra air when you accelerate. Functional hood pins.
Bobby pins.
No, these aren't Bobby pin hood pins, baby, and they're for real hood pins. Yeah. Hey, 2 pipes. Gut it for me, will you, buddy? Oh, now, come on. These aren't belted fiberglass tires, aren't they?
Consider this fair warning. When you order your Chevelle SS396 at your Chevy dealer's sports department, expect to draw a crowd, no matter where you take it.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I'd like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me. Perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. I'd like to buy the world a coat and keep it company. And the real I'd like to teach the world to sing. In perfect harmony. Perfectly. And I'd like to buy the world a coat and keep it company. It's the real thing.
No matter what size your label says, Men's Warehouse has you covered. With American designers and expert stylists, we'll help you find the perfect look. For the receptions, the board meetings, the trips with the boys. And let's not forget the anniversaries. It's time to take your style to the next level and create the perfect fit. It's time to like the way you look.
My phone keeps locking, okay. Yeah. Okay, so we're coming back today. I have some questions for Todd. Todd, so what do you think about the Twitter ban? What do you think about that? I'm curious to hear.
The TikTok ban.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't gotten to Twitter yet, but they will.
Yeah.
TikTok, I think it's a crock of crap. It's all political. There is no national security threat whatsoever that they can prove to me exists with TikTok. Here's something a lot of people don't know, Cadence. And I don't know if we've even talked about this before, but I used to be a security consultant, and I traveled and talked to casinos and banks and stuff and set them up with Sanyo surveillance security cameras. And we were at a convention in Las Vegas, a big security show, and everybody was showing off all their toys. And I told one of our reps that I wanted to get some surveillance cameras to put on my house. He said, "Do not hook them up to the internet." I said, "Why? What difference would it make?" He said, "It is illegal to sell a video camera or surveillance camera anywhere in the United States from any manufacturer in the world that does not have a government backdoor built in. Hardwired so you cannot bypass it without destroying the camera." And if they were doing that 15 years ago on surveillance cameras, what makes anybody think that they're not already building chips into our phones? 80% of our smartphones are built in China. 307 million people carry smartphones. Do we really think they need the TikTok app to track our phone?
Right. I mean,
It's
really
just crazy.
Yeah, that is wild to me. I mean, because you could put it in anything, really. Like,
Absolutely.
It makes no sense. It just doesn't.
And the cars, the electronics, everything they manufacture over there, of course they've got smart chips in them that they can
Yeah.
track it and watch it and know what we're doing with it.
Yeah, like how long ago do you think they'd be planning these things? You know what I mean too. Like it's ridiculous.
Well, they were doing it with surveillance cameras 15 years ago.
It's wild. That's so wild. They do like
It is.
and then
and
where they bring it to as well. You know.
Exactly. And I think that's the scariest part of this. A lot of people get mad at me when I do this, a lot of my Christian friends. But I have to quote Larry Flint on this. Do you know who Larry Flint is or was?
No,
He
I don't.
passed away. He was the founder and publisher for Hustler magazine.
Oh.
At the time he was out in the 70s, it was probably when he first came out, one of the filthiest porn magazines in the entire world. And he was really proud of that. But one of the things that he said in interviews, and Hugh Hefner said it too, who was the Playboy Mansion and Mr. Playboy Bunny. But Hugh Hefner and Larry Flint did more for freedom of speech in our country than any other two men in the world. Larry Flint went to prison to stand up for the right to sell pornography in this country. He said, you don't have to pick it up and read it if you don't want to. If you find it offensive, don't buy my magazine. But you can't ban it, because if you ban my magazine today, they can ban your Bible tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And he was right. I'm sorry. I don't agree with pornography, and I think I do agree with the laws to protect child porn and that kind of thing, but to just flat out ban a magazine because it has pornography in it,
Yeah.
you can't do it. It's just wrong. And to ban TikTok because of the company that owns it is in China is just as ridiculous, because we already know they can put the chip in the phone and track the phone without the app.
Yeah, no lie. I mean, what's the point?
I mean, it's just retarded.
Yeah.
I
feel like they definitely just want to get TikTok out of the way and get something else done. It has multiple agendas attached.
I agree.
Scenario. Yeah.
I agree completely. And a couple of years ago, they had all the big thing with Mark Zuckerberg appeared before the U.S. Senate and Congress and was doing hearings, and they were saying that they had sold their information. And this is where everything gets off the rails. Everybody was going crazy on him that he was selling privacy. And I was one of the only people. I came on the media. I was interviewed by a bunch of reporters, and I kept saying, he didn't sell anything. It was stolen from him. And the reason you know that is because Mark Zuckerberg is not stupid. Mark Zuckerberg's business plan is to gather all the information about you that he can possibly grab. And then what he does with it is he rents the data. He rents it to marketing companies and political firms and politicians. They rent the information to target people who have similar interests to whatever they're selling or whatever their political position is. And they do that, and that's a totally legal, totally legitimate purpose for the information. But if he sold me the information, I don't ever have to go back to him for more. And he's not that stupid. He knows the only way he's going to get to keep selling me the information is if he only sells me the analytical data from it. So the whole idea that he's out selling our information is ridiculous. TikTok, no different. Instagram, no different. YouTube, no different. They're collecting data that they're not selling. They're licensing access to the analytics from it.
Dang. But what would happen? It makes me think about, like, what would happen if it was passed? You know, like, what else could they get? Like, where else would it go? You know,
they can go after anybody at that point. To be honest with you, I mean, seriously, it's that serious. And once they do this, then what they can do, they take down TikTok, and immediately, if any of the other social medias start posting anything or allowing things to be posted or done on their media platform that the government doesn't like, then we have what I like to call the weapons of mass destruction issue. They make up some weapon of mass destruction like they did in Iraq. They never showed them. 85% of the American people forgot by the time it was over with why they even invaded Iraq. They said they invaded Iraq because they had weapons of mass destruction. By the time they got in there and got it over with, everybody'd forgotten why they told us they were going in. And they'll do the same thing here. They'll make up something about some other social media, and they'll attack them and take them down. And by the time they get it done, no one will ask why.
That's so sad. That's so sad. It's good that we have people like you like fighting for it though. You know, fighting for freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Fighting is very important. Yeah, for real. That's great. I mean,
Thank you.
that's really.
Is it
So what else
time?
do I need to know about the TikTok ban? Like, is there anything else or anything else you'd like to say?
Stand up for it. I mean, one of the things, whatever platform you're watching our show on, register, like it, do it, because the more clicks we get, the stronger power we have, because we're talking about doing a tour to all 50 states this summer and all the U.S. territories. And if we can take a large mass of followers of our show and our website, and we can say, hey, look, this is the number of Americans you're pissing off with this thing, then they have to stop and listen to us. They have to. They don't have a choice.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So we're probably ready to go to commercial by now.
Yeah.
So
all right, guys. We'll see y'all in a minute.
we'll see you actually in 2.5 minutes. But we'll be right back.
Chevy Silverado factory lifted trucks. Where will they take you? Silverado ZR2, Trail Boss, and Custom Trail Boss, because adventure is everywhere.
RepresentingMe.com.
Our democracy has been tested in recent years, but...
Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got.
To make kinder the face of the nation.
I'm not throwing in the towel.
The point is that the program is not going to go forward.
I've met with the families of some of those folks.
I want to find a friendly reporter. Are you a friendly reporter?
We honor the sacrifice of those who died for our country in many ways.
So we're here once again on the Texas
Very
border.
important, and I think we've created a very positive culture of a can-do spirit and just get things done.
I reject the idea. I really do. That's one of the things that bothers me.
I have nothing to add. Not figuratively, actually, literally.
All we're here to find out is how we are proceeding and when we will finish.
Okay. First, I'm just going to say a brief...
I think one of the things that we should
So while I'd love nothing more than to pretend like this isn't happening.
We are a nation that at its best loves, protects, and helps our fellow Americans.
Welcome to RepresentingMe.com. Click on any person. Go to your state. Check out other representatives. Your registration is always private. And coming soon, World Leaders, the app, town halls, follow alerts. RepresentingMe.com.
And we're back. That was a nice little commercial break. I got to get a drink of lemonade.
I know, I got some tea.
Oh, awesome. I love sweet tea. Is it sweet tea?
Yes,
Awesome.
it is.
Awesome.
Yep. It's delicious.
Okay, well, we're back.
Yes, I had some questions for you. So,
Uh-oh, I'm in
yeah,
trouble now.
yeah,
I
I'm
hear my
curious
mother
about.
calling.
I'm curious about your website. Like, I want to see what is it you're building? What's it gonna do for us? Tell us.
Representingme.com.
Representingme.com.
Okay, representingme.com is, we're switching things up, and instead of just having another social media platform with politicians on it, which everybody's got, we're designing a website that is specifically for politicians. And the difference is, right now, if Governor Stitt, my governor here in Oklahoma, or Governor Abbott in Texas, let's just use him for example. If Governor Abbott goes in the media and talks about something, all the liberal media is going to spin it liberal. All the conservative media is going to spin it conservative. Anything he posts online on all the current platforms, everybody's going to attack it, whether they like it or don't like it. They're going to jump on it, and they're going to post their comments and their little like buttons, and they're going to argue with each other and cloud his entire comment so to where you can't even tell what he said. What did the man say? What did he mean? We wanted to do this and start a platform where they have a timeline, and they can post a text message, they can post a document, a photograph, or a video on it. We're going to add live video to it so they can go live like we are now and stream to it. We're doing this for any elected official and any candidate for any elected office. What they do is, though, once they post on their timeline, if you come on there, you can like it or not like it, but you can't comment. You can only like or not like it. So his comment doesn't get lost. His or her comment doesn't get lost in a cloud of fog of argument or even support. You get to hear what they said, what their comments was. Yeah. And so that's the beauty of it. And then we've got the other aspect of it. We are going to bring social media into it. We're going to have the town hall. So right next to the politician's bio will be a button that says town hall, and you can click on that and go, and you're just discussing his posts. So you're not discussing what any other governor said or what any other congressman said or whatever. It's just what he said. You can then post comments about it and discuss it with other people.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. Trying to keep an even line here.
Right. It's about freedom of speech, which obviously that's what this whole show is about freedom of speech, and being able to put your word out there and have it be heard in context and not clouded or skewed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And that goes back to like this show. As we go on, one of the things people are going to learn about it is that we will use this show to dispel the social conspiracy theories about privacy. One of which I will throw out there, the RFID chips, and we're going to talk about that next week, or on the next show on Thursday. But the RFID chips people are putting in their hands. I don't know if you saw that in the news a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
There were several companies that were putting those, and everybody was, oh no, you could be tracked by that.
Yeah.
You can't.
No.
The RFID chips,
Wow.
those little bitty RFID chips.
Yeah.
They have a range of 13 centimeters.
Wow.
Centimeters.
Oh,
that means I have to have an antenna within 13 centimeters, not of you, of the chip in your hand in order to read it.
Yeah.
So unless I follow you around with a reader on the end of a selfie stick, holding it by your hand, I'm not tracking you with the chip.
Yeah.
I'll bring some show and tell next show.
Oh wow!
And I'll show you.
I was worried about this. I saw people opening doors with them, and they were showing them how awesome it is to live with it. Like wild to me, just wild to me. So I'm very interested in that.
Well, I'll bring show and tell, and we'll show the different kinds of chips. One of the things that I tell people is that with the RFID chips, and I'll show pictures of this too, is that you can actually start the chip is constantly being triggered to pulse. And I'll get into more of that later. But what it can do is it can trigger your body to form a shell around it, and that shell can become cancerous.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Something
Wow.
they don't tell you.
For real. There's
Am
so
I
many
scaring you yet?
going on. I don't know. Some of the inventions you're just like, what? They made this how and why? Like, and then you can help show people, the truth of things. Okay.
So anyway, but yeah, that's RFID, and we'll get more into that the next show, and we'll talk to Kately. I'm sure she'll have some input and knowledge about those as well.
Okay. Yeah. I'm excited to meet her and be on here with her.
So yeah, she's an interesting character. I had her on the last show when you couldn't be there. The first show, of course, was a complete disaster because you couldn't make it. You got called out at the last second.
Yeah.
Kately got a rash. I think I showed you the picture of the rash she got on her face and chest. I mean, there was no way she was coming on the show.
Dang.
So it was me, myself, and I. I had no B-roll. I had no commercials prep. I showed up and it was just me and my hat.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And I didn't do well. But
you've done good. It looks great.
Thank you. And here, we'll put the hat on you now.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll lean up a little. You can wear that.
I'm ready for it. That's great.
There you go. Are we about ready for another commercial?
All right, guys. We'll see you back in a minute.
Away is the smell of fresh pine. It's a place where giants still live. Away is where the farther down the road you go, the closer you get to the ones you love. Find your Away. For a dealer and the RV that's right for you, visit GoRVing.com.
No matter what size your label says, Men's Warehouse has you covered. With American designers and expert stylists, we'll help you find the perfect look. For the receptions, the board meetings, the trips with the boys. And let's not forget the anniversaries. It's time to take your style to the next level and create the perfect fit. It's time to like the way you look.
Introducing our tough one, the 1970 Chevelle SS396. It's a great performer, except for one thing. No one gives it a chance to perform. Not that we can blame them. After all, there's a lot to admire about the new Chevelle SS396.
Your car? Hey, what's that?
A no-nonsense cowl induction hood you can order that actually feeds in extra air when you accelerate. Functional hood pins.
Bobby pins.
No, these aren't Bobby pin hood pins, baby, and they're for real hood pins. Yeah. Hey, 2 pipes. Gut it for me, will you, buddy? Oh, now, come on. What on belted fiberglass tires, aren't they? Yeah.
Consider this fair warning. When you order your Chevelle SS396 at your Chevy dealer's sports department, expect to draw a crowd, no matter where you take it.
How would you like to be able to travel anywhere, anytime you want, with all the luxury and comfort of home? You can do this in an RV from Apache Village. We want you to experience waking up to any destination of your choice, from the Grand Tetons to Pebble Beach. We have a large inventory of new and used coaches from top manufacturers like Fleetwood and Jayco. We are here to help you find the perfect motorhome for your family. Come in and see why we say, go one better, go Apache Village.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. And
So I had
Here we
some more
go.
questions for you. I was sitting back here thinking, I was thinking about my dog, and her name, she's so cute. She's so cute. But my little dog, she has one of the RFID chips. So I wanted to ask you about that. Like, is it safe for my dog? Like, why would they, like, because they can track my dog. So what's the difference?
Okay, again, just so you know, they cannot track your dog with that chip.
Oh.
That is one of the same chips. It's the exact same chip they're putting in people's hand, and you cannot track with it. It has a 13-centimeter range. All the stuff on TV that, oh, they can track your dog. No, they can't. If your dog runs away and someone finds the dog, they take it to a vet and they scan it and they can read it. And here's something they don't tell you. There are like 4 different systems for this. So if your vet doesn't happen to have the system that the chip is in your dog, the vet that finds your dog doesn't have the same system as the chip that your vet put in your dog, they can't read it.
Huh.
So it has to be the same chip. They've never come up with a uniform across the board way to do this. As for safety, no, it's not safe. The way an RFID chip works, and again, we'll get more detail on this. I'll have graphics next week or tomorrow on Thursday. I keep saying next week. It's Thursday, Todd. 2 days. But I'll show a graphic and explain how an RFID chip works. But in short, every time they're exposed to an electromagnetic field, they pulse. In your house, the wiring is pulsing at 60 hertz. That means 60 times a second, it is pulsing a magnetic wave through the air. That magnetic wave reaches that chip and it fires it. It charges it and discharges it 60 times a second. Your body and your dog's body find those chips to be a foreign device. It says, ooh, we don't like this. This doesn't belong here. And it keeps pulsing and drawing frequencies into us. So it starts building a shell around it, a tissue. And again, I've got some pictures of this that I'll show on Thursday. But that tissue can become cancerous. And according to the American Veterinary Association, it does in 1 in 6 pets. So there is a 1 in 6 chance, if your dog has the chip, that your dog can very well develop cancer.
Wow. That's wild, the risk. Why? And then if you can't even track them, why are you putting them in there at all? You know? That's
Exactly.
what I have is why are they going in at all? You know, what are the other reasons that
Money.
Yeah, I guess.
Money. It's all about the money. These companies that are manufacturing these chips, a lot of people got really upset about it. Do you know who developed the RFID chips? The whole industry was developed around one company.
No, who's that?
Walmart.
Huh. That's interesting.
Walmart did it, and you probably aren't old enough to remember this. They were probably doing it since you've been born, but I doubt if you were old enough to realize they were doing it. One day in January, during the first week of January, Walmarts around the country closed for 24 hours. Even the 24-hour Walmarts were closed for 24 hours. And they didn't have many 24-hour Walmarts back then. So, but we're talking, they closed for inventory. And during that 24 hours, they counted every product in the store, on the shelves, everything. They counted everything in the store and took inventory. Well, as a result of that, they wanted to save money and do cost because they're paying every employee in that store to come in for that day to count. So they started looking at ways around that, and RFID came up. It was a new technology. So they started developing RFID technology and then started requiring If you want to sell my book at Walmart, if my publisher wanted to put it in Walmart, the first thing they have to do is put an RFID chip in every book.
Oh, wow.
And
wow.
the reason is so that when the case of books arrives on the truck at Walmart, they can take that little scanner you see them using in the aisles. They'll go down the aisle checking stuff. Their inventory.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're doing. They can scan the cans of tomato juice and tell exactly how many cans of tomato juice are on that shelf because every one of the cans has an RFID chip under the label.
Wow.
So it was all done for inventory and to save money. But then they started finding other things. The companies manufacturing the RFID chips started looking for other ways to sell their new product and to do their thing. The one that spooks me the most and that offends me the most, well, it's right up there neck and neck, is Real ID, and we'll talk more about that in other shows, and the RFID chip in guns. Did you know there's an RFID chip in every gun that was manufactured after 2012?
No, but I like that idea.
No.
Why?
Because it's just like Real ID.
Yeah.
And they can use this Grabba, this device. It's like a camera. It looks like your cell phone actually, but it's about 3 times thicker. And I'll bring a picture of that Thursday too. But they can take a picture of your car driving by, standing on a street corner. The cop can just take a picture of your car with it.
Mm-hmm.
He can read your Real ID and know who you are. Violation of the 4th Amendment. He can read the make, model, and caliber of every gun and firearm in the car. And he can read the RFID that's built into your money now, and he can tell how much money is in the car. And they can do all of this without any probable cause, without any warrants, and without any reason. A cop can just see your car driving by and say, oh, she's a pretty young lady. Who is she? And he can take that picture.
Wow. Okay.
And that's what I have against it.
See, that's why I love that I'm here, because I get to learn all this stuff, because I had no idea,
And that's why we want you here.
Yes.
We wanted somebody here. When I was looking for a co-host, one of the reasons that it just kind of let the audience know, one of the reasons that Cadence got picked is because I wanted somebody that was smart enough to understand what we were talking about, but hadn't necessarily been exposed to as much of this, because I didn't want somebody on here that was going to argue with me or that. I wanted somebody on here that, just like you've done today, you asked really good questions. You're asking me questions that the audience would be asking me if they were here, and that's what we've been looking for. So
right. You sought out your audience to receive your audience. I love that.
Exactly. So
smart,
I decided to take a member of my potential audience and bring you on the show and make you part of the show so that I can interact directly through you with my audience. And that's going to make a better show out of this. And it's going to help us. And Kately's looking forward to it as well, my white hat hacker, because we were on the show together on last Thursday, and it went well.
Yeah,
but
it did.
We were bouncing about. We were just throwing information back and forth at each other. And that's why we're all looking forward to having you on the show, because you're going to be asking us questions that, I mean, I have to think to ask Kately a question, because I don't know everything she does and she doesn't know everything I do, but we both know most of what each other knows.
Yeah.
So it makes it harder for us to ask each other questions. If we get you on there and we start talking about stuff, you're going to go, wait a minute.
What?
Explain this to me.
What? Yeah.
So, and that's going to be the beauty of this, and that's going to be the energy of it. I think we've got one more break to go to, don't we?
All right. Well, I guess we're going to break.
All right. We'll be back in a minute.
All right.
Introducing our tough one, The 1970 Chevelle SS-396. It's a great performer, except for one thing. No one gives it a chance to perform. Not that we can blame them. After all, there's a lot to admire about the new Chevelle SS-396.
Your car? Hey, what's that?
A no-nonsense cowl induction hood you can order that actually feeds in extra air when you accelerate. Functional hood pins.
Bobby pins.
No, these aren't Bobby pin hood pins, baby, and they're for real hood pins. This. Hey, 2 pipes. Gut it for me, will you, buddy? Oh, now, come on. What? They're belted fiberglass tires, aren't they? Yes.
Consider this fair warning. When you order your Chevelle SS-396 at your Chevy dealer's sports department, expect to draw a crowd, no matter where you take it.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I'd like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me. Perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. I'd like to buy the world a coat and keep it company. That's the real thing. I'd like to teach the world to sing. In perfect harmony. Perfectly. And I'd like to buy the world a coat and keep it company. It's the real thing. What the world wants today is the real thing. What the world wants today is the real thing.
No matter what size your label says, Men's Warehouse has you covered. With American designers and expert stylists, we'll help you find the perfect look. For the receptions, the board meetings, the trips with the boys. And let's not forget the anniversaries. It's time to take your style to the next level and create the perfect fit. It's time to like the way you look.
And we're back from that commercial. Cadence will be back with us in just a moment. And I think you said you had a question for me.
Yeah, so I've been wondering, like, what are some conspiracies that you can debunk? I've heard you talk about this before, and I'm really curious. I want to hear about it.
You would ask me that. You like putting me on the spot, don't you?
Yeah.
That's what friends are for, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
Your friend if your friends can't put you on the spot, who can?
Okay, right? For real.
Okay. Okay, my favorite.
Okay.
And it's going to go back to talking about RFID.
Okay.
There is a thing, and if you look it up, Chippy the RFID, CHIPPY. Chippy. Yes.
Okay.
The RFID chip. And somebody got cute and called him Chippy. They have somebody spent a lot of money on this one. And that's what I love about it. It is like, are you kidding me? Someone actually spent the money to do this. They made this little cartoon Chippy with legs, this RFID chip with legs and arms and a face. And he runs around, and they do have car animations and stuff. And they did a website saying Chippy was coming to a school near you. And that Chippy was going to hold a little rally and teach the children all the benefits of RFID chips and why they want one. And then they could go home and educate their parents on why mom and dad should give them permission to let the school chip them.
Oh my gosh.
Chippy didn't exist. Chippy didn't exist. It wasn't a government program. Somebody made it up, built a website, and put this crap out there and made it look like it was a government program. And then on that, on the trail end of that whole Chippy thing, there was a little town in Wyoming that supposedly the entire town was chipped. The government went into the town.
I heard about this, I think.
Everybody in the town.
Yeah.
I have talked to the mayor, the police chief, and the school superintendent. It didn't happen. They said you're welcome to come up here and visit. You can scan anybody in town's hands, bodies, whatever. There are no RFID chips.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. And yet all these conspiracy theorists are out here going, oh, look what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't done any of it. It's crap.
Yeah. Wow.
Nonsense. BS. Debunked.
Wow.
We just debunked our first conspiracy theory, kid. How's that feel?
All right. We need to get a box, a check mark box. We'll start taking them. We'll be like,
we'll give you the check mark. We'll give you the check mark. You can do the check mark every
Good
show.
on you like this.
Oh, there you go. I guess it's time. You were asking me about cryptocurrency.
Oh yeah, I was just curious about Bitcoin and like investing in Bitcoin. I've seen people, I'm curious if this is smart. I've seen people just put a little bit of their savings in Bitcoin, and as they'll just watch it over the month, and whenever it rises, they'll just take it all out.
Okay.
And then put it back in. Like they'll keep taking it out and putting it back in. And they've seen a lot of benefit from doing this, just at like random times.
Can we still be friends if I don't answer your question?
No. Is it a bad question?
That wasn't very nice of you. That's a Kaylee question.
Oh man, she needs
That's
to be.
That's a Kaylee question. Thursday.
We'll save it.
Save it for Thursday. We'll bookmark that question for Thursday, because that is a really good question. And I'll be honest, I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know what her thoughts are on cryptocurrency and the whole buying silver and gold and stuff. I want to hear her input on that and see what she thinks of the whole thing, and is it worth it? Is it doable? Is it something that they can track or do anyway? Yeah, I think she'd be the one to go into that, being the hacker thing. But if anybody out there does have a question, you can send them all to Cadence personally. No, I'm just kidding. Then you overwhelm your email box. I won't give it personally. But we do have an email set up. It's OPS, which is Other People's Secrets, abbreviated to OPS, at Seebic, which is our publishing company, SEEBIC.com. OPS at Seebic.com. Throw your questions out here. We will actually give them to Cadence so that she can add to her ammo box of questions to fire at Kaylee and I. And I know you're
thinking, what can I question?
I know you're going to have fun doing that, firing questions at us.
I'm so excited.
Look at her. Look at the smile on her face. It's like I just gave her a Nerf gun, and she can shoot it at us all she wants to and get away with it. She just looks too happy. That's just making you too happy, Cadence.
I love to I am happy. Okay, everybody should be happy. I love that.
You are. You're a happy person, and
I try to bring that to people.
You bring it to me. I look forward every time we do a pre-show prep or a meeting on this stuff and on the website and stuff. I look forward to it because you always bring a smile to the day, and I love that. So thank you for that.
That's great.
Please don't quit.
I bring a smile to y'all's day.
I'm sure you will. They're gonna love you out there, and we'll get the emails and start doing that. I am going to close the show, and I'm going to close it with a comment that I always like to end. I've been using this comment since 1994 when I wrote the first book, Other People's Secrets, and I ended the book with this. The new book ends with this, and there's one little thing at the end of it that I say, and I've added to it, but the reality is it's all about information, folks. Who has it, who can get it, and who controls it. Control yours. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you we'll see you on Thursday. Sorry to say we'll see you next week, but I hope you can join us on Thursday, and we'll be looking forward to it. Thank you, Cadence, for joining us, and
thanks, guys.
We'll be back.